Hey folks, Wrath coming at you with another one. Today, featuring feedback both from Ulrim and Sharp, putting together a video for what we believe a tier list should be. And the reason is simple. None of the characters in this game, except maybe for Pura and Asaki, function as standalone characters that fundamentally change the dynamic of a team composition. So no character in this game stands alone to do basically a single thing in the game. So what we wanted to do was provide a tier list that features the top 3 core heroes for each category to help give you some guidance on when you are selecting heroes for specific stages of the game. I am going to release something similar to this for Guild Hunt, and I am going to release something similar for PvP, but this is more of a general guide across the board for really the top 3 heroes for a composition perspective. I know a lot of you folks that are looking at this will basically say, well, you know, Ares and Claire are definitely top-ranked vanguards, but Barog is not. However, regardless of the game mode that you're playing today, you won't find a vanguard team that does not effectively capture those 3 heroes within it. And so this will be, I would also say, a little bit more geared towards like endgame players specifically, because not all folks will have these heroes, especially Coraxia, especially Artemis at high evolutions. And so let me give you guys, I would say, a look of how I would think about this to better equip you guys. So since I mentioned the Vanguard team, let's use them as an example. So if you're thinking about putting together a Vanguard team, you'll definitely want to use Claire, Ares, and Barog, and then 1 or 2 supports depending on the game mode and depending on where you're using them. So typically those will either be Miranda, those will either be Porinasaki. You might even end up using like a 4th hero depending on the stage of the game where you're using him. And so the example that comes to mind is Endless Battle. A lot of Endless Battles will feature those 3 heroes, Porinasaki, and then either a Leo or a Bato for maximum point attribution. There could also be a scenario where you use all 5 of those vanguards. However, there will never be a scenario where you use the top 3 heroes and then Crete or Guan Yu. I have not seen Crete or Guan Yu be used in any, I would say, stage of the game recently. And so you can very comfortably look at like the A selected heroes and almost not use them entirely. The B selected heroes, for sure. I haven't seen Bada in any game mode or composition recently. I haven't seen Luke, except in very rare cases. And then the only other thing to mention that I would say is worthy of note is when we're looking at SP heroes. So for example, Artemis as an SP hero really requires a lot of evolutions to be used effectively. Unless it's in like a endless battle event where you're using her just for point distribution, all other game modes, she really needs to be well evolved to be effective. I'm thinking like elite campaign, regular campaign, all of the PvP areas. And so in this case, if you don't have a well-evolved Artemis, just swap Ryzeris in, right? Korra is a little bit different than Artemis mechanically. So even like 1 or 2 or 3 evolutions of Korra will go a long way, simply because she's got really good survivability. However, with the introduction of the Evangelion heroes, Asuka could be a great 3rd core PvP assassin or PvE assassin character. So you'd have Dom, Samael, and then Asuka. And then depending on what other game mode you were using, so for example, if you're pushing like Whale for Guild Hunt, you might see use out of Rickard. If you're pushing Hell Arena, you might see use out of Helentis. So that's kind of how you can swap in and out. Anyway, this was a different take. Hope you all enjoy it. See you guys on the next one. Peace.